luar negara sambil mengenali peranan mereka sebagai duta budaya, ekonomi dan sosial bagi negara kita. Terima kasih kepada yang sudi hadir pada hari ini. Bagi meneruskan lagi acara kita pada hari ini, marilah bersama-sama menyanyikan lagu Negaraku dan Wawasan Setia Warga UiTM. Para hadirin yang dimuliakan, sebelum memulakan majlis, marilah bersama-sama kita menadahkan tangan bagi bacaan Ummul Kitab Al-Fatihah. Amin amin ya rabbal alamin. Sebelum majlis kita bermula, terlebih dahulu kami siarkan ucapan dari Yang Berusaha, Profesor Nadia Dr. Muhammad Rozi Maknawi, Pengetua Kolej Kediaman Mawar. Selamat menonton.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera. Salam UiTM di hatiku. Alhamdulillah, syukur kita kepada Ilahi dengan lipat dan kurnianya dapat kita berhimpun bersama-sama pada pagi ini secara dalam talian bagi menjayakan program Discovering the Challenges of Malaysian Diaspora, anjuran Dziobkowsa perwakilan Kolej Mawar sesi 24-25. Lebih dahulu, sebelum penghargaan dan ucapan terima kasih, ini saya ucapkan pada para panel yang sudi meluangkan masa bagi menjayakan webinar kita pada hari ini. Hadirin saya kasih sekalian, program Discovery the Challenges of Malaysian Diaspora ini bertujuan untuk mendalami cabaran serta peluang yang dihadapi oleh komuniti diaspora Malaysia di luar negara sambil mengenali peranan penting mereka sebagai duta budaya, ekonomi dan sosial bagi negara kita. Melalui sesi ini, para peserta diharap dapat memahami lebih mendalam tentang bagaimana diaspora Malaysia menyumbang kepada pembinaan imej negara di peringkat global dan bagaimana mereka mengatasi cabaran hidup di perantauan sambil mengekalkan identiti kebangsaan mereka. Selain itu, program ini juga berperanan sebagai platform memberi pendedahan kepada pelajar Kolej Mawar tentang aspek globalisasi dan kepentingan hubungan antarabangsa dalam membina rangkaian yang kukuh antara komuniti tempatan dan luar negara. Dengan ini, pelajar dapat mengambil inspirasi daripada pengalaman diaspora Malaysia, memahami nilai perpaduan dan menyedari potensi mereka sebagai generasi penerus yang mampu memberi impak positif kepada negara. Saya tidak bercadang untuk berucap panjang. Bagi mengakhiri ucapan, saya ingin mengucapkan syabas dan tahniah kepada para peserta telah meluangkan masa bagi menghadiri program Discovering the Challenges of Malaysian Diaspora ini. Tahniah juga saya ucapkan kepada barisan Dziobkowsa perwakilan Kolej Mawar serta barisan sekretariat dan skuad pelaksana kerana telah pergi sejauh ini untuk saja minda penonton yang hadir. Serta tidak lupa juga kepada semua individu yang terlibat secara langsung maupun tidak langsung dalam menjayakan program ini. Semoga program hari ini dapat memberi manfaat sedikit sebanyak kepada para peserta. Dengan lafaz Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, saya dengan ini merasmikan program Discovery the Challenges of Malaysian Diaspora. Sekian, terima kasih.
Baiklah, hari ini kita berkumpul untuk berkongsi pengalaman, ilmu dan idea demi memperkukuhkan hubungan antara diaspora Malaysia dan tanah air tercinta. Kita amat berbesar hati kerana hari ini 3 orang panelis yang hebat dan berpengalaman telah bersedia untuk berkongsi ilmu dan pandangan mereka. Bersama kita pada hari ini adalah panelis-panelis hebat yang merupakan diaspora Malaysia dari pelbagai tempat di seluruh dunia. Panelis pertama kita ialah Encik Nathaniel William Philip yang kini merupakan seorang pelajar Master in Engineering di Esslingen University of Applied Sciences, Jerman. Panelis kedua kita pula ialah Encik Trevor Yaacob yang kini sebagai alumni University Portsmouth di University United Kingdom. Panelis ketiga kita pula ialah Puan Nadia Halim iaitu seorang guru prasekolah dan content creator yang menetap di India. Sesi ini menjadi lebih bermakna dengan kehadiran mereka yang membawa perspektif global sebagai rakyat Malaysia di perantauan. Sesi bual bicara ini akan dikendalikan oleh saudari Madeline Angel, wakil daripada Jawatan Kuasa Perwakilan Kolej Kediaman Mawar. Tanpa melengahkan masa lagi, majlis dengan segala hormatnya menyerahkan sesi ini kepada saudari Madeline Angel untuk memulakan diskusi kita. Dipersilakan.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for pihak MC. Welcome to Discovering the Challenges of Malaysian Diaspora. My name is Madeline Angel. I'm a student in UiTM Shah Alam, and I'm truly honored to be your moderator for today's lesson. First, let's take a moment to acknowledge the incredible effort of our organizers to organize this program. Today, we are intrigued in some discussion and valuable insights about Malaysian living abroad. Now, before we begin, I would like to inform that if you have any question, feel free to jot down through the chat box on our YouTube live because we will have a Q&A session towards the end. Without further ado, let's get started. Let's welcome our first speaker, Nathaniel William, who will be sharing an insight living in Germany. Before we go through some questions, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you Mr. Nathaniel. Guten Morgen, Mr. Nathaniel.
Guten Morgen.
Right. sorry. Actually, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Nathaniel is pursuing his master in Germany, and inspiringly, with such a young man, he managed to travel over 20 countries. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, 20 countries. Okay, without wasting any time, let's go on to the first question. So, UITM, one of the UITM syllabus is students have to take languages. So, and I believe most of our viewers are taking their German language, Mandarin, and also Japanese language from part 1 till part 3, which is from semester 1, semester 2, and semester 3. Some said it's a very hard language as for a student that's taking German as a language. So any tips that any tips Miss Nathan can give for our viewer for them to excel in
Okay.
these subjects?
Yeah, so for me, German was also very challenging. It took me quite a while to really master the language. I would say, especially when you're just beginning, it's good to like just practice a lot, maybe with your friends, try to talk in German with your German teacher more. And there's a lot of content online as well nowadays. YouTube, you can watch a lot of videos, teaching you more about German. For me, it helps as well. Yeah, I would say just practice and don't be shy to speak, even if you're not that good in the beginning.
Even though it's like broken tata bahasa, just say it with your German
Yeah.
friends. I mean, like in groups, just practice.
Yep. I
Okay.
would say so.
How about what you say about YouTube? Which specific YouTube do you recommend?
That's hard for me to say. There's quite a lot of them nowadays, so I can't get one off my head. On YouTube, I would say just search and find one that you like, a YouTuber that you like, and maybe suits you. I can't name one because there's just a lot of them. So yeah.
How about stream live? I mean, like those streaming people that you can talk to in internationally. Is it helping? I mean, through apps or whatsoever, does it help?
I'm not sure about that. I didn't really like play around with these kind of apps and streams. Yeah, so I can't say more, but yeah.
All right. Okay. How about the second question? What inspired you to move abroad, and what is actually your initial impression when you go to when you're in Germany for the first time? What's your initial impression? Like sometimes it's different from what is in the Google, and when you certainly when you're in that current place, I mean the current country.
Yeah, so I wanted to study overseas since like a very long time ago when I was in school. So like I tried to apply for a lot of scholarships and programs to come to go overseas, and I got one to study in Germany. So that's the reason why I decided to come to Germany. Other than that, it was also another reason why I wanted to choose Germany was how it was more popular for engineering courses, like to study engineering. And yeah, my first impressions coming to Germany, well, I came in winter. It was in March, and it was cold. My first time experiencing like pure winter, and it got dark very early, and you need to wear like a lot of layers when you go out. So yeah, that was my first impression, the cold.
It's not
Yeah.
like in Malaysia.
No.
The cold is totally different, right?
Yeah.
How about you said about Miss Nathan said about famous for engineering. What specific engineering course do you do you think?
Mm-hmm.
Which,
I mean,
what specific?
well, there's a lot of them. So compared to like other countries, or at least to Malaysia, which I've seen, the courses in the engineering courses in Germany are very specific. So they don't just like only have mechanical and mechatronic engineering, for example, but in my case, it's called Smart Factory. It's industrial engineering, basically engineering and management, and with a focus on production, digitalization, Industry 4.0, so on. Yeah.
See. Okay, sorry. I I'm I'm sure that 70% of these viewers are students, and maybe they must have like an intention want to further either furthering their study master or um working in Germany. So if you have like what is the tips that you can give for this young future diaspora students that wanted to go to Germany? What's that one? What's that few of the tips that you can give them, like prepare for them before they want to go to overseas?
Mm-hmm. Well, I would say the first thing before you go overseas is you have to be open-minded. You have to understand that different places have different culture. You have to just prepare yourself that it's going to be different. The food will be different. You have to adapt yourself to the surroundings, the people, the way they talk, like the politeness of the people is different from Malaysians, for example. Yeah.
I am very intrigued with that question, with that statement. Politeness. Can you explain that about the politeness?
So to put it simply, people here are more direct. For them, being direct is more polite than trying to like keep it to yourself. And like Malaysia, we try to control ourselves, like what we want to talk, and try to add flowers to our sentences,
Yes.
so it doesn't sound so harsh. But for them, if they don't like something, they will just say, "No, I don't like it. Please do like do it like this," and so on. So you have to get used to that directness of the people.
So meaning to say they cannot like lembut hati. Like they have to be mentally prepared and emotionally prepared when they go through that time, because the work environment is different than Malaysia, is it?
Yep.
It's like that. You see. Plus with the winter itself, I mean how to adapt, because maybe some of the people that they are not keen with the cold weather, they will continue being sick for a longer period. Is it? Like how long is the winter in Germany?
Oh, well, I would say in November it already starts to get really cold. Even though winter officially starts like middle of December, but November is cold up until the whole of March, and sometimes April is also kind of cold. It's like cold, warm, cold, warm. So
Oh, I
uh,
see.
quite almost half a year, I would say, where it's cold.
Okay, all right. Um, third questions. What are some Malaysian dishes that you miss the most? And what would
Mhm.
it what's that one thing that you would bring back to share with your German friends?
A lot of things.
Like
Malaysia has so much good food, I would say you probably know this, Maddie, because you're from KK as well. Like the soup ikan konlomian,
Oh
the
my god.
fish soup with
Fish
noodles, like the dry
with
noodles.
noodles.
Yeah, you can't get like the nice fish in Germany. So that's what I would say I miss the most.
Oh, is there any like Malaysian stall? I mean, close to that Malaysian stall that sells Malaysian authenticity food? Is it? Is that?
Well, very, very less, very little. So
Oh,
if you ask me to count how many of them. Less than 10. So probably less than
Oh,
10 in Germany.
okay. Um, if it's not in Germany, what is actually the second country that you thought that you would like further study besides Germany?
Good question. I would say, well, it's quite hard to say because I just applied for everything. Maybe Japan or the UK.
Because of the language itself, or like you're intrigued with the language, or
Not necessarily. Like the UK is English, so that's easy. But Japan, I would say just culture is more like quite interesting.
I
Yeah.
see. Is there any Malaysian community in Germany specifically, like besides the embassy, that you stay connected with?
Yes. There's the student community. It's called the Malaysian German Student Society. I've been like a member since I came, and there's always activities every year where all the Malaysian students in Germany, well, everyone who wants to come will meet up in, let's say, a Hari Raya event or a sports event. It's called Rantap, but it's a sport event for Malaysians to come together once a year. So, yeah.
Do you have like did they organize like Hari Merdeka or something that brings us to bring them together, like I said just now, Merdeka or Christmas? Would it like, or Hari Raya, something like that?
Yeah, so Hari Raya is one of them. As I mentioned, there's Merdeka. Last time there was more of it. Now it's, I think it's a bit hard to organize. But there's also events for Merdeka where I remember when I joined, it was there was a talent show event. There was like games and so on. Yeah.
Is there any like the community there? Is it more than 100 people? It's a Malaysian
Yeah,
community. Is it more than 100 people?
definitely. Yeah, several hundred.
Oh, I see. But then not specifically in Berlin. Munch, sorry. Miss Anita is for staying at
I'm
currently.
near Stuttgart. Stuttgart.
Okay,
So
so
it's a
meaning
different. Yeah.
yeah, that's a hard pronunciation. I cannot pronounce that. Stuttgart, is it?
Yeah.
And that area mostly famous for a Malaysian community staying around, or
Not
they're all
necessarily.
over.
Here, there's more like people working because Stuttgart has a lot of companies and job places. But if you say students, they're quite scattered around Germany. So like the programs which send Malaysians to Germany, like what I took, the GPA program, they will have some choices of university like partner universities, and most of the students go to the partner universities. So they kind of grew up in these kind of areas, but there are a lot of them, so they're quite scattered in the whole Germany.
See. Okay, thank you. Um, how do you adapt the culture of the food itself? Because you're a born and raised Malaysian, and then when you arrive in Germany, I like, to be honest, for me, if there's no rice in my plate, I will be sad. So how do you adapt to it? Since I know that mostly for German food, there's maybe limited for rice, right?
Well, yes, German people don't eat a lot of rice, but you can still find rice in the supermarket. In there's Asian stores, so you still can find access to rice and Asian ingredients for the most part. Yeah. So I still cook a lot of rice. I buy noodles and I cook noodles at home. And that's for my like everyday consumption. During events, I would also like cook nicer stuff like rendang during Hari Raya, for example, which I learned because I came to Germany. Like, okay, I miss rendang, so I'll try to make it. And I followed like YouTube and like recipes online to learn how to make it.
That's how you make it feels like home, even though you're far away, right?
Yeah.
I would like to ask one last question. Have you ever because I want to ask every single Malaysian diaspora this question.
Mhm.
We would crave noodles or Maggi.
Yeah.
Can you explain a scenario? How much is one pack Maggi there in Germany? Is it expensive?
So Maggi is hard to find. Basically, Malaysian Maggi is hard to find. There's Maggi here, which tastes very different from what we have. But there's a lot of Indomie. They export a lot, so they have a lot of Indomie. So one pack of Indomie now in today's prices is 59 euro cents for one small pack. In ringgit, that would be like almost 3 ringgit for one pack of Indomie, like one.
One pack of noodles.
Yeah, because
Wow.
like a one piece.
Okay, it's basically it's like the same. It's basically twice the amount, which is right now. Because right now it's about 190 or 2 ringgit. So it's about twice the value.
You mean what? 2 ringgit for 5 or
For one
one?
pack. I mean like it here. Yeah. 150, 120, depending on the brand itself.
Okay. I'm surprised because I haven't been home for like two years now. So
Oh, okay.
interesting.
All right.
Yeah, but yeah, it's around 3 ringgit for one Indomie.
One pack. Okay, understand. So as per requested, there are a few of the questions from our YouTube live.
Mhm.
One question is from Amirul Faiz. How about the living cost there? Is it expensive?
I would say yes, if you like convert it to Malaysian ringgit, it's quite expensive. Compared to like certain other European countries, well, if you compare to the UK, for example, or France, it's a bit cheaper in Germany. But I would say in 1 month, the minimum amount that you need is around 900 euros to survive, and it depends on the city. So yeah, 900 is
900.
about 4,500 ringgit, something like that.
So meaning to say you have to like at least maybe when you go to Germany, you must at least have a cost of living at least for 3 months, just in case if like anything bad happen. Is it
Yes. So
like
if you come to
rental?
Germany with like your own like self-sponsored, and you come to Germany, you would need a whole year actually of money to prove to the authorities to get a visa. Yeah.
Oh, oh, I get like for survival stuff. They want to see your bank.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I see. Okay. Have you ever? This is from one of the viewer. Have you ever attempted to recreate a Malaysian dish using local ingredients in your host country, and what is the result?
Well, luckily there's Asian supermarkets where I can get like Asian ingredients, so serai and like daun limau and so on. It's not impossible to get. Some are frozen, so maybe not as wangi as in Malaysia. So I would say it worked well. If you get ingredients from the Asian supermarket, it works well. Of course, the German supermarket's a bit limited, but you still can get like santan and so on. Because curry, for example, is quite popular as well among Germans.
Curry, as in the Malaysian curry or Japanese
No.
curry, or
Well,
you mean curry powder?
German curry. It's quite like
Oh, German
quite
curry.
sweet. I guess it's inspired from Indian curry, but or I don't know, Thai curry, for example, but it's tastes nothing like Thai or Indian curry. It's not spicy at all. They cannot eat spicy, most Germans.
Sorry, I would like to ask one question. How do you adapt with the, I mean, like, the taste buds for us as a Malaysian, or maybe our spice level is this high, but for German people, maybe lower or higher?
A lot lower spice level.
See, okay. From one of the viewer, how about finding halal food there? Is it possible?
Yes, I would say so. There's also a lot of like migrants from Turkey, from Syria, and so on who open up restaurants here. Well, the choices are a bit limited, of course, because mostly you can get like Turkish food or Arabic food if you want to eat out. But if you want to eat at home, it's also possible. You can find these halal supermarkets operated by like I said, like the Turkish and Arab community in Germany. So yeah, it's possible to get halal food in Germany.
Okay. And how do you adapt culture there while maintaining your origin culture?
It's a good question. I would say, I mean, I still keep like my Malaysian roots, like I still enjoy Malaysian food and so on. And I try to be polite as a Malaysian would, but also understand, okay, this is how Germans speak. So I kind of adapted to how Germans talk as well. It's good to learn their language because when you speak in German with them, they open up more because they're more comfortable in that language. So you understand their feelings or expressions better. Sometimes it's hard, but it's good to do that. Yeah, I made some German friends as well from university, from work, and so they also sometimes they ask me questions about Malaysia, then we kind of exchange and we understand each other's culture that way.
Have you ever been in a situation where you are not satisfied with them, and then you said like I'm from Sabah, and you said "Geram mo kau," something like that. You want to stay in Malaysia, in Malay word, but they don't understand. Like you're very disappointed with their achievement, and you wanted to say something bad to it, but they don't understand that. Have you ever been in that scenario before?
Well, yeah, maybe. I mean, there are some, yeah, of course, sometimes like misunderstandings or dissatisfaction with each other. In some cases where we just tell each other, hey, I don't think this is good what you're doing, and let's figure out something about it. Or yeah, when I talk to my friends, sometimes like yeah, I tell them like the Germans as well. They will like what they call maki sometimes other people, but they don't do it in they can't do it in person. But sometimes like the kind of thing it happens. I guess it's like normal.
One of the students here asked, for a student who want to study overseas, do you have any advice for them?
Well, I would say forget everything that you know, and you have to start like with a fresh mind. Especially when you're studying overseas, there's a different education system. The way they teach you is different. the exam systems is very different from Malaysia. In the beginning, it was also quite hard for me, for example, to study because it was a very different way of teaching. So yeah, just forget what you know. Even maybe you couldn't be as excellent student in Malaysia and you struggle in Germany, or the other way around, where you're like struggling in Malaysia and you're doing well in Germany because of the skills you need is a bit different.
Sorry, I want to ask the exam system that is there have like only for German language or is it for English?
You have English as well, so it depends on what you look for. If you want to look for like more local courses, most of them are in German. In my bachelor's, it was half in German and half in English. And if I struggle to answer in German, I could also answer in English, and the professor would be okay with it.
Mm. How long does it take for you to learn this language?
So I started together with my A levels. So A levels is 1.5 years, and then I did intensive courses until C1 for another 4 to 5 months. Let's say 5 months in Germany. So almost around 2 years. 2 years.
2
To get
years
like the basic to study, but of course I will continue improving it as I'm here talking to my friends. So it's a long process, but just to get to the level to study, I would say like 1.5 to 2 years.
1.5 to 2 years. That one is just fluently speaking in German or including writing it?
Writing as well.
Like
Writing, I would say writing is easier actually than speaking for beginners, especially if you've never been to Germany. But yeah.
all right, thank you. A question for Fariza. Fariza, you ever encounter a situation where you need to work in groups, but some may not able to communicate well? How would you handle this? Like most of the your office worker are Germans, or is it like altogether different cultures in one office?
Well, in my case, there's a lot of Germans, so I work with a lot of German people. But in the company, for example, there's a lot of international people as well from different countries, a lot of different cultures. So yeah, because I applied for like most of the German-speaking jobs because there are more of them. But yeah, I would say. What was the question again?
You ever encountered a situation where you need to work in groups? How do you communicate with them?
Yeah. Okay. So at work, it was a bit difficult because sometimes you don't understand. So like even speaking to my colleagues, it was sometimes difficult to directly come to them because I don't know what's going on sometimes in the beginning. So in terms of work, I will speak to my supervisor. Usually they are quite understanding when you are a bit slower with your German. If your grammar is a bit off, they are also fine, because even Germans understand that German is a hard language. And sometimes they open up, okay, if you struggle, you can also speak in English. They're also okay with speaking in English.
All right, thank you. One of the questions also is it possible to sustain yourself solely on a scholarship allowance in German, or do you need necessary to supplement with an additional income, such as working part-time?
Okay, it depends on two things. First is your lifestyle, and second is how much you get, of course, from your scholarship. So like GPA, from GPA scholarship, it's enough. Definitely, give you enough so that you don't have to work part-time. Some scholarships give a lot less, so you need to supplement the amount. So it really depends. Like I said, if you get at least 900 and above, then you can survive. If you want to, let's say, travel more or go out more to eat out more, for example, then you would need definitely more money.
See. But then, in working part-time as a student, do you like encourage? Have you ever been in that situation before?
Yes, yes. I highly encourage it. In Germany, it's also very encouraged. There's a lot of, well, there's two kinds of jobs, I would say, typically what students do. One is being a working student. So working student is basically like an intern, but like a part-time intern for a company. So you get quite good pay as a working student, above the minimum wage usually, or at minimum wage at least, which is also quite good. And you get working experience from industry, for example, and it helps in your CV later on to apply for a full-time job. So that's one, being a working student. Another one is a mini job in Germany, where up to a certain amount a month, it's not taxed. So like a pay of up to 540 euros is tax-free, and there's a lot of like small, let's say, small companies and places which offer this kind of jobs.
Mini jobs, is it?
Yeah, it's called mini job in German.
Oh, okay, all right. Do you when you first went to Germany, your visa is under student visa, right? Is it easy to apply for working visa?
Well, yes and no. So if you have a contract and so on, it shouldn't be too hard, but it also depends on the city where you're at, because the one processing your visa is dependent on the so-called the authorities of the city. The best English word I could find. So there's a lot of bureaucracy in Germany, so they want a lot of documents. So you need to prove this, you need to prove that. And sometimes the company has a lot of bureaucracy. They say, okay, you need a visa to get a working contract. And the authorities of the city say, oh, no, you need a working contract to get a visa, and you have this problem. The companies usually know about this. Sometimes if they think that you're a very qualified candidate, then they will work hard in discussing with the authorities. Sometimes it depends on the company. Some of them like, okay, too much work for us, and we won't help you. But in most cases, I would say it's doable. You need to just work a bit hard and get the documents you need to get a visa, working visa.
Sorry, it's not as easy like you're applying a job in Singapore, something like that.
Well, I'm not sure. I have not applied in Singapore yet, so
Sorry.
yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, but then if you say like that, there's a lot of paperwork to do. But then when it comes to traveling, like as a Malaysian, when we're planning to travel in Germany, you don't have to apply any visa, right?
Yeah, the Malaysian passport means you don't need a visa in most European countries. You might need like to fill out a form. Recently, there's like this process which you need to do, application which you do before you fly, but it's not like a visa.
All right, okay. What is that one culture shock that you felt when staying in Germany that you find it's different? And what's the beauty of that that you stayed for about 5 years, is it? 5 years
Uh,
until now,
almost 7 now.
almost 7,
Yeah.
coming to 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the beauty?
Well, it's quite hard for me to think. I would say culture shock. There's a lot of them, of course. For me, it was how for me, like how crazy Germans drink. So like German people especially, they socialize through drinking a lot of alcohol because that's how they open up. And for me, it was like, oh wow, this is a lot, a lot to handle. And it's difficult to find the beauty in that, but that's how it is, you know. I mean myself, I'm okay with drinking alcohol, but it's also just too much sometimes, and I limit myself. They understand as well that I don't drink that much, and they understand usually if you don't drink as well, you can just get soda or like soft drinks, for example. It's okay. I would say what made me stay is the working culture in Germany. It was there a lot. Even if you're an intern, they listen to you very well. They take your ideas and they treat you like of course that you're learning. So they will teach you and they treat you like a full-time worker most of the time. And if you have personal problems, personal issues, they also understand it quite well. And if you need to take a holiday and so on, they are quite understanding with that.
All right. Okay, I think last question. How has living abroad influenced your mindset and surviving skills?
I would say it influenced me quite a lot, especially in terms of like my mindset towards social issues, towards environmental issues has changed a lot, especially coming to Germany. Like how much more we need to look after the environment, for example, has changed a lot for me. And for my survival skills, yes, of course, if you're going to go overseas in a different country, a different culture system and so on, you have to, and you're alone, you know, your parents are not here, you have to like do everything yourself, take your own initiative and do your own research,
Okay.
for example, and so on. Yeah.
Being independent.
Yes.
It teaches you as to being independent, because if we're in Malaysia, families around and we felt comfort, but then if we go to a place that there's no family, we feel more independent. Am I right?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Since most of the viewer are students, can Mr. Nathan give me a few sentences of inspirational quotes, or what's the Malaysian diaspora staying in Germany? What's like the advice that you can give for our future viewers?
Well, for advice, I would say, yeah, just keep an open mind. Just adapt yourself to a different culture, and yeah, that's as much as I could say. Be open-minded and ready to face new challenges in life.
Yeah. New get ready and face challenges in life.
Get ready to face new challenges in life. Yeah.
New challenges in life. True. Because Yeah, that's a nice quote. Yeah. Being independent, getting ready to face a new challenges in life. I think that's all the question. That's all. Thank you so much, Miss Nadia, for giving your time to be in this discovering the challenges of Malaysian diaspora, to be our speaker. We are truly, truly, truly thank you. Before that, I want to ask in German, thank you. How do you say thank you?
Dankeschön.
Dankeschön. Yes. Thank you so much for your time and effort. And I know it's 9 o'clock, is it? Yeah, 9
Yeah,
o'clock.
almost 9.
Almost 9. I'm so sorry for taking your time. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Have a pleasant day. And we'll see if any speaker that would like to stay in contact with Mr. Nathan, maybe can follow his IG. He has lots of pictures and lots of very, very inspiring people, a very inspiring person that travels more than 20 countries. I am very surprised. Anyways, thank you so much.
Right. And thank you for having me.
Before that, can I have a picture?
Of course.
Picture. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Ready? Okay. Oh, one more time.
Okay.
Dukshan. What's sorry? What's
Dankeschön.
Thank you. Dankeschön. Dankeschön so much from us. WITM Shalom. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. See you. Bye.
Thank you.
Baiklah, terima kasih diucapkan kepada panelis pertama kita, iaitu Mr. Nathaniel William Philip atas perkongsian yang sangat bermakna sebentar tadi. Diharapkan penjelasan tersebut dapat membantu menjawab persoalan dan menjelaskan sebarang keraguan yang timbul. Baiklah, saudara-saudari sekalian, kita masih di dalam talian bagi mengikuti perkongsian daripada panel kita yang kedua dan juga yang terakhir untuk sesi kedua ini. Baiklah, dengan segala hormatnya, majlis menjemput Mr. Trevor Yaacob dan Madam Nadia Halim untuk mengambil alih sesi seterusnya. Dipersilakan.
Hello.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
Hello. Okay. So today, ladies and gentlemen, we have our two speakers. First, our speaker is Mr. Trevor, and second speaker, which will be sharing an insight living in the UK. Our second speaker is Madam Nadia Halim, which will be sharing an insight living in India. Before that, I would like to introduce that Nadia Halim is a preschool teacher that teaches one of the schools in India, a Malaysian living in India, home to the most famous Shah Rukh Khan. I'm very, very well impressed. Namaste, मेरा नाम मैरी है. तुम कैसे हो?
Hello. I still have to brush up on my Hindi. But I'm very well. Thank you so much. I love the effort of trying to speak Hindi with me. Thank you.
Right. Okay, here with us, second present speaker is Trevor Yaacob. He's a freshly graduate student in the UK. Most likely loved one of the violinists in one of the Malaysian Harmonic Orchestra,
No, in the
and also
University Music Society. Yeah.
and university society.
Mm.
Currently staying in the UK, specifically in Portsmouth.
Yeah,
In
Portsmouth.
UK.
Yeah, Portsmouth. Yeah.
Portsmouth. Okay. So good morning. Right now, our Mr. Trevor is around 10
It's around
o'clock, is
8.
it?
No, it's around 8 right
8,
now in the
sorry.
morning. Yeah, so okay.
Sorry, my mistake. And for Madam Nadia is around
1:30.
11:30.
1:30.
Sorry, 1:30.
Yes.
Sorry, 1:30.
No worries.
I'm really confused with German time right now. Okay. So first thing first, I would like to ask to Madam Nadia. One of the UITM, are you ready for some of the questions? Sorry, before that.
Yes. Question from the students?
Question from the students, yes.
All right. Awesome. Yes, I'm ready. I'll try and answer as much as I can, as much as I know.
All right. So one of UITM syllabus is taking third language for part 1, part 2, part 3. And as the Malaysia diaspora living in India, what are the tips that can help the students to adapt how to learn a third language? How do you?
Oh, okay. So for those who are thinking of moving abroad and wanting to learn a new language, it's very important to know what language they are talking, specifically in the state itself, because India is so huge and there's so many languages. So if, for example, I'm in Mumbai and we speak a lot of Hindi, right? So you will learn the language, and it's better to learn with the local teachers, the locals who speaks in Hindi. So then I guess they will teach you some lingo, how to be more local. Like as Malaysian, we have our own lingo. Okay la, boleh la, you know? And it's just the same with in India. They also have their own lingo and languages that they use. For example, they like to say "aram se." Okay, "aram se." The hands goes like this. "Aram se" means chill, calm down, cool. You know. For example, "bus," and the heads go like this. "Bus." Means enough. And they like to say "chalo," means let's go. So these are some things that I picked it up. I mean, it's a little, these are all the little things that when you pick up, it makes the local very happy.
I think the using of bus is one of the movie in Kabhi Kushi Kabhi Gum.
Yes, the Amitabh Bachchan is going bus.
Yes, yes. So that I thought it's just an act. So meaning to say it's a real stop, meaning as a slang for Hindi. Is it in Hindi?
Hindi. So it really depends what context you use. When I'm in on auto rickshaw, you know, the rickshaw that they have, I say, bus, baya bus means done. Here, it's here. So now I'm talking like this too.
Yeah, true. I think maybe with this simple word, maybe if I go to India, I can use this.
Right.
Yeah, thank you so much. All right. Okay. How about as a student, as a teacher, what are the language that students in India will be using? Like, is it Urdu, Tamil, Hindi, or basic English for students?
Okay, so in Mumbai, they speak Hindi. So like Tamil, for example, is more like Kerala, more on that side of the parts of India. But English is a very it's well spoken here. So almost everyone understands Hindi. Almost everyone speaks Hindi. So there's no English. So there's no really language barrier living in Mumbai specifically, because they do understand English very well. And so in the international school that I'm teaching, we all speak in English. So English is the main language that we use.
How about the writing and the teaching itself also in English?
Yes, except for languages, right? So they do have Hindi, and they do have other extra languages like Spanish. So they do learn a lot here too.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So we need to say there are some population Indian which are can speak in English, Hindi, and also Spanish.
Yeah. Well, I think also some Portuguese as well, as they were also what the word? Oh my God. The Portuguese came to India as well, right? So there's also parts of
Oh, I
those two,
see.
yeah.
Okay, all right. So this is a question for Mr. Trevor.
Yes.
In the UK, there are homes with a lot of cultures with different style in their English. There's Iron English, London slang, Manchester slang, and African English. How do you
Mm.
adapt and still communicate with them on a daily basis?
Good question. About accents, well, if you listen to like drama and whatnot, and news, they have so many different kinds of accents, like in Liverpool or London or something like that. But I mean, it's very interesting to just, but they're speaking the same language. They're still speaking English, and so when you get used to talking to British people, and some people have very like monotonous slang, it will get a bit easier. But yeah, there's a lot of different kind of slangs. Even those like foreigners, from India as well. There's a lot of Indian students here in Portsmouth. There's so many students. Uh, and so you can hear their slang, but it's not so pronounced. They get used to it in the end after going for lectures and stuff.
I see. And
Mm.
how about and one more question.
Mhm.
Ballot elections are very important as a Malaysian. 2 years ago,
Mhm.
we had an election in Malaysia. But how
Yeah.
is Malaysian staying in the UK? Are they able to still join the election? And how is the process?
Good question again. Uh, from me and my family, I'm staying with my aunt and uncle here in the UK. We applied for ballot papers, so they sent it here. The government sent it here. We did our election as per usual, put it back in the envelope, and we gave it to some representatives from Portsmouth here. They sent it to Southampton, which is about an hour's train journey from here. 40 to about an hour's journey. Gave it to them, and then they will give it to the embassy. I think they will check a little bit of it, just to see how many votes. And I think the last time we had an election, it was a 300 something votes or 400 something votes, something like that. That was okay, yeah. It was a good turnout, but some Malaysians they either married with somebody from the UK, and so they're not really inclined to do voting. So I think, yeah, and also like you have to apply for the votes, and sometimes you need to pay for like something. So yeah, that's quite a bit challenge. But there's a lot of people who vote here, and there's a lot of people who are very in tune with what is happening back home. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Mm.
Back to Madam Nadia for one of the questions is some of the listeners would love to watch Bollywood, but still look at the subtitles. How can you adapt to a new culture environment and a new language?
To be honest, until I've been watching Bollywood since I was young, so I grew up with it, and I don't think it's easy to pick up a language, especially if you don't intend to use it in your life. So keep reading the subtitles, I would say. But I have the privilege of when I'm talking to people and they speak Hindi, I recognize certain words that they're saying. And I think for me at this point, it's good enough for me to get by on a daily basis. It's just, again, especially as I mentioned before, people speak English here, and they're very good at speaking English, right, and everything. So it's not really there's no really a language barrier in Mumbai.
Only in Mumbai. All
Yeah,
right.
I can only
That's
say
fine.
Mumbai because I'm living in Mumbai.
All right. Okay. Um. Okay. We heard that Indian cuisine is full of bold and diverse flavor, and the spices levels are far more quite intense. How much or are you trained yourself to adapt to the taste and spicy level of the food there? Any tips for someone that wanted to go travel in India?
Okay, so I think as a Malaysian, we eat quite good spicy as well. So my spiciness level is quite high. It's up there. So whenever I order cuisine, I don't have a problem with the spiciness. But one thing I have to say, in India, they will if you request for something, they actually will do it for you. So if you don't have a high tolerance for spiciness, you can always request less chili or no spicy, and they will definitely do it for you. But if you want to step up the game, you can always do it bit by bit. Just try a little bit, and then once you're there, you just get more spicy.
How about the curry there? Is it same with curry when you order at one of the mamak shop, or is it the same in India? Is it the spice?
It's not the same in Mumbai. So the curry in Malaysia that we have is not the same in Mumbai, but I think it might be same in Kerala, for example. It's still, I think here in Mumbai, when we say curry, it's very thick. It's like in Malaysia, in mamak shop, it's quite soupy, I would say, right? But in Mumbai, it's very thick. So yeah, I make my own curry at home, just Malaysian version.
Okay. All right. Back to Mr. Trevor. Growing up in Malaysia, you have developed unique taste preference. How do you adapt the food in UK?
Oh, the question is very similar. Okay. Uh, well, I am okay with anything, to be honest with you. But the thing is, yeah, spicy food. It's very difficult to find spicy food here. Well, there are Indian shops, there are shops like in Nathaniel's place. It's a melting pot of like cultures. So you can find curries which are like spice level 100, or curries that just like like right now Christmas markets are giving out like bratwurst sausages like in Germany. So they have the sweet curries. That's the sweet version of the curry. So yeah, people's tolerances here, well, they are exploring. Some people are really starting to get the taste buds going. But for me as a Malaysian, I'm okay. I sometimes go to Chinese restaurants. I sometimes go to Malaysian restaurants. There's some Malaysian restaurants here. Yeah, but overall, yeah, sometimes it's very hard to adapt to quite bland food, sometimes. Yeah, but they usually would put salt, pepper, or vinegar on like something like fish and chips or something like that to put the taste in.
But this is for both of the speaker. This question is it easy for a Malaysian to find Malaysian cuisine shops like that's selling Malaysian food? Is it easy for each one person?
Well, it depends on where you are, to be honest with you. If you're in London, there are a few Malaysian restaurants, but it's usually halal. Even the Chinese restaurants are halal. So it's a bit easier for people to come. That's why I think basically most Malaysians prefer to move to the UK rather than any other European countries, just because of it's such a melting pot of everybody. So many people from different nationalities. Okay, so back to Malaysian food. Okay, basically it's not that easy to find, and sometimes the ingredients is like they instead of putting like Chinese vegetables or something like that, they put bell peppers. It's not the same, is it? So, uh, um, but they do it in such a way that you still feel like you're at home. That's if you're outside. Yeah, I have my family here, so yeah, we cook curries, and my uncle's Indian as well, so yeah, he's gonna cook Kerala and Mumbai things, similar things, yeah. But if you're not that lucky, yeah, it's gonna be a bit challenging to find something that's right for you and like consistently, and you might want to try some other things as well because there's so many food here. Yeah, that's for me.
My turn. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry. So in Mumbai, believe it or not, there's no Malaysian food in Mumbai. None. Zero. But there is a Singaporean restaurant though, so I guess in a way it's similar, right? Same. I look at the menu. They have nasi ayam, they have nasi lemak, they have all these same food as we have as a Malaysian. So I guess that can compensate it. I haven't tried it yet, so I should try. But I know that there is a first Malaysian restaurant that opened in Bangalore. So that's a few hours away from Mumbai. So if I wanted to go try Malaysian food, I have to fly over to Bangalore to give it a try. But I do cook a lot here in India, in Mumbai. So I have all the ingredients I brought all the way from Malaysia the other day, 2 big luggages. So I made my own Malaysian food.
How you
Yeah.
adapt the food and feel it like you're in home, right?
Yes, I mean I'm good with the Indian food here, but if you're a Malaysian and you are very connected to your root and your food culture, you want to eat Malaysian food most of the
Yes.
days. So yeah, that's how it works.
Okay. All right. Um. This is for both of the speakers too. Are you a part of any Malaysian communities abroad? How do they how do they help to stay connected to home?
So yes, I am. I joined the Mumbai consulate. So we have a consulate here that I go to events and all that. So that makes me feel good, especially that I just moved into Mumbai, and it's really nice to connect with people who are from your country. I know some people do not prefer to connect with people from their country, but I genuinely love to connect with my fellows Malaysian. It's the same thing when I was in Poland. I also was connected with the Malaysians people in Poland, especially they're not a big community of people, the Malaysians in Poland or even in Mumbai. So
Uh,
yeah,
about
Yeah, that's
about less than 100 or more than
yeah.
100.
Even like if you say India probably is a lot, but Mumbai itself is not a lot of Malaysians. So when we have events, the Mumbai consulate did some event. People actually have to fly in from different parts of India. So then it looks like you have more people, but you don't actually have a lot of Malaysians in India or Mumbai specifically. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah. So
Mr.
for me, um, well, okay, there's a lot of Sabahans here. So we have my auntie has a group with the Sabahans. Yeah, yeah, we have some people here. It's nice to like, go for Kamatan or go for some, year-end holiday, Christmas or something like that. This year we didn't have any specifically, but because they went to travel to, I think they went to Switzerland to represent either the UK Malaysians in the UK to, over there. But previous years, yeah, we did Kamatan. We got all this lovely food there. It's very enticing. I'm thinking about it right now. But anyways, um, yeah, we have a Malaysian society here, basically only for students. I think most of the Malaysians here, students, if you're talking about people who are working in Portsmouth, not many. They usually go to Southampton. Hence, in Southampton, there's more like Malaysians who are working there. And they do have meetings, especially with the embassy in London. It's in Trafalgar Square with the very tall building and the I think it's the museum, the National Museum. So just in front there is the Malaysian embassy. It's very close, and I go there to do my passports and such. But yeah, they do some events, and it's very exciting. Like see a lot of Malaysians there, to network. Most of the time, it's also like, oh, how is work, or how's your livelihood? We ask this kind of questions. Overall, yeah, there's a lot of Malaysians here, and I hope to see more of them actually.
Okay, thank you so much for the great explanation. I would like to ask a few questions again. What inspires you to move abroad, and what actually your initial impression of the new environment, Madam Nadia?
Oh wow, sorry. I thought Trevor would go first. Okay. my husband is the type of person who likes challenges in life. He likes to try out new things. And so that's how, and then also because in Malaysia, we had a little problem with his visa. He's not Malaysian, so he has a little problem with his visa. So I guess that kind of like escalate for us to decide to move out of Malaysia again and explore something else. And I visited India before. I liked it here as a tourist when I visited the first time, and I was just thinking, hey, maybe it's a good place to explore as a foreigner living abroad in India. Yeah. So I think the challenges, I don't know why we like challenges somehow. It's not easy. We call it challenges for a reason. Yeah, but I think challenges is what makes you grow in life, what makes you do better and wants to do better for yourself and for the people around you.
Right. Nice explanation.
Thank you.
Mr. Trevor?
Okay. All right. Can you okay, so can you repeat the question again? Sorry, wow, I was just thinking.
What inspired you to move abroad, and what were your initial impression when you moved to UK? When you go
Oh,
to the
for
UK,
me,
what's your
okay, so basically for me is I've always been fascinated by it, and since my aunt and uncle moved here, yeah, it's just a no-brainer to be honest with you. Yeah, and I like the culture as well. Like you get so many opportunities, not just for your cultural exchange, but also for like work purposes and for like that. Yeah, you take an opportunity. So, like when you first come here, it's quite a culture shock, I would say. Not that much, but yeah, there is a culture shock where you see so many people in London, like honestly, honest to God, like, and you think, oh, they have so many different attitudes, and like some of them very straightforward, some of them are very in your face, some of them are very, reserved, and you have to speak up. That's what you learn when you first come here. Try to speak up more, people, because there's just so many people. But I mean, this, and also like watching movies like Sherlock Holmes, like reading novels like Around the World 80 Days, those kind. It all came. Most of them came from Britain, and like you don't appreciate how much exposure you have to British media when you're in Malaysia. You don't appreciate it until you come here and you see, like, you can actually relate to them, even with your own cultural experiences. Yeah.
so because of Sherlock Holmes and those reading those novels makes you feel like going there. Am I
Well,
right?
also the food and the weather. Yeah, but I came in December as well, so it was pretty cold then. Yeah, it was pretty cold, like you said, like 5 degrees. Winter officially starts in beginning of December. Yeah, but it's very cold since autumn. Like it starts to get from 20. Yeah, yeah. But summer's quite hot. It's like 25 degrees.
25
Well,
degrees. Speaking, sorry.
yeah, in
Yes.
degrees, yes, in degrees. But if you think about it, most buildings here are cement buildings. So here it feels like 35, 40. So basically, yeah, I had to get adapted to that as well. You'll be wearing your typical, what you wear in Malaysia, same thing.
Speaking of weather,
Mm.
Miss Nadia, I would like to ask, is the weather with Malaysia slightly the same, or is it much more hotter?
So this is surprising for a lot of people, but India has the 4 seasons. They have winter too. So it's just that in different parts of India, that when they have winter, they do have winter. Some of them even have snow. But in Mumbai, we have winter. But in the morning and at night, it feels like when you are in Cameron Highlands, Genting
Oh,
Highlands, Cameron Highlands. So that it's chill, it's nice. So I think November, December, January, February is like the best time for you to come and travel in India, because they say I haven't yet experienced, but they say in March onwards it will be really hot, or maybe even like April. And also in India, it works that they also have monsoon season, but their monsoon is nothing like Malaysia. We have monsoon season too, but in India it rains the whole day for like 2 months nonstop. And then the last one was in October, and then it will not rain until the next July.
Oh, I
So
see.
so when the winter is over, then there's no more rain, and it's just gonna get dry. So it's like a dry season, and the pollution here is really bad, really bad.
Mm.
So that's one of the things that kind of affect the whole season, right? Because when you in Malaysia, at least throughout the year, you have some rains in certain parts of Malaysia, so that still helps with the heat and all that.
Okay, thank you for the explanation. How about Mrs. Trevor?
Oh, weather is just so funny here. Well, when it starts to rain, right? It's very small, droplets and everything. Unless you're talking about storms. It's winter now, technically, but yeah, there was a storm. It's called Darak, I think. It just happened yesterday and the day before. It was horrible. If you think about winds, the rain's okay, but the winds are like 70 to 90 miles an hour. That's about, I don't know, 120 to 150 kilometers an hour winds. So basically, yeah, like in Malaysia, pokok tumbang and all those kind of things. It's very dangerous to travel, especially in the highways. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, summer is pretty hot. Uh, summer's pretty hot, yeah. Spring is very beautiful because you see a lot of flowers, you see a lot of plants come out. Like you feel like you're back in Malaysia when you see this one area that suddenly bunga raya just comes out. Like it's crazy. Yeah, bunga raya and all those things. Apart from that, yeah, weather's pretty typically it's very sad and it rains a lot. But overall, yeah, during the summer, you can expect a lot of festivals, music festivals. Those are huge, like Glastonbury, where Elton John or whoever plays there. And we have our own festival here. It's called Victoria's Festival. I think last year was Lord performed here for the final day. So, but the weather here is, yeah, it's pretty sad most of the time. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for the explanation. Um, okay, this one is for Madam Nadia. What are the Malaysian dishes that you miss the most, and what would you bring back to share to your Indian friend?
Okay, so initially my most missed food was nasi lemak, but for the first time in my life, I made my own nasi lemak when I was here. So moving abroad makes you a good cook, I would say, because you kind of have to force yourself to cook. So nasi lemak was the something that I really missed, but I know how to cook that, so that's fine. So if I could bring one thing back from Malaysia, it's my mom's dendeng daging, beef dendeng. We only have this during Raya Eid, and only because it's super delicious and it's occasional thing. And here in India, I think a lot of you guys probably know they don't eat cows, right? They don't eat cows. So it was until today I haven't found any beef. But they compensated for buffalo. So I've tried buffalo for the first time, and it was good. I guess it's not as great as the beef, but it still doesn't have much difference, I guess. So dendeng daging is one thing that I really miss, and I would bring back from Malaysia to India. Yes.
And one of the Instagram reels, I saw that you brought a tin of hapsang biscuit.
Yes, I
Is it
did.
is it difficult to find Malaysian food? I mean Malaysian product in India.
So there's this a really expensive bougie food square where you can buy all the imported food from parts of the world, but it's ridiculously expensive. So like in Malaysia, you have Jaya Grocery, you have all these also groceries that come from different parts of the world, but it's nothing like in Mumbai. The costs of imported food are like triple the price. So
Yeah.
even if I'm like craving for it, then I'll buy. Otherwise, I'll just compensate for something else. Like, for example, hapsing. The other day, I bought like a small hapsing. Was like 10 ringgit, 12 ringgit, like this.
Yeah.
For and
Yeah.
Maggie, they do have Malaysians Maggie. They sell it, so I was happy. I was really excited, and then I was picking up, and I wanted to see the price. It was 25 ringgit, and I'm like, nope, thank you.
Oh, no, that's normal. Yeah. Maddie's out of the line now, but we can continue talking. Yeah, Maggie here. Well, basically, it's I don't know, 70p for one. Yeah, it's about 10 ringgit. Yeah, yeah, but yeah, imports here are quite good. Like Indomie from Malaysia. Maggie. If you're lucky, you can go to Tesco and find a Maggie from Malaysia, and you can nice. It's nice, but usually I bring them from home. Yeah, so the luggage is about I don't know 35 kgs, and it's like 2 luggages, and like yeah. It's so like so difficult to find food. I'm not sure what happened to Maddie, by the way, but it's fine.
But yeah, we lost
Yeah.
her.
Yeah, we lost her. Yeah, okay. Is she coming back? Maddie, hello. We were just talking about Maggie Me, okay? Like, yeah, your thing. But yeah, we can't hear Maddie. Unmute. Yeah.
Sorry.
Is it okay? All right.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe
Yeah.
the lightning or whatsoever kicks in,
Or maybe.
and my internet is totally horrible.
Oh, that's
Don't worry.
fine. That's fine. We were just talking about food stuff and everything. Like, yeah, I know in India, like you said, there's not much places where you can eat. Well, none. Yeah, here you have to be lucky. Yeah, you have to be lucky. But yeah, like I said, making me 75p. If you're really craving it, you just buy 5 packets and just go.
70p, sorry, 70p, which is
Yeah.
equivalent with about
3-4 ringgit.
3-4 ringgit for one pack
Because
Maggi.
there's a lot of Malaysian exports here, imports, so it's a bit easier to
How about
But it's still hard to find.
Sorry, how about for in India? Is it much more expensive or is it cheaper?
Yes, you will be surprised. The cost of living in Mumbai is way more expensive than in Kuala Lumpur.
Oh, okay. This is one question that I asked with Nathaniel, speaker just now. If, for example, one of the students, because most of our viewers are students, if one of the students or 70% of the students are interested to move one of the countries, whether in the UK or in India, what is the basic necessity of amount that they need to have in order for them to survive? Ms. Nadia can maybe explain first.
Sorry. What's the question? I got
Sorry.
What's the question again? So sorry. I had a pickleball league and everyone is trying to stay in contact. So yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
What was it?
My question was 70% of our viewer is students. So what is one of the tips that you can give if these students interested to further their study or work or start a new life in either one of the countries, which is in the UK or in India? What is the basic necessity monetarily that they need to prepare in money-wise, the budget?
Oh wow, the budget. Okay. I think you have to make your research. You have to do the research. I think the most that takes up a lot of your money is the accommodation. So where you're staying takes a lot of money, because with food you can always kind of like mana-mana lah kan, you nak makan murah sikit hari ni pun boleh, so makan. But the accommodation part, I think, is what most important thing. You have to really budget on that. And then also make sure you have some sort of saving in your accounts. That could be what do you call safety net in case of anything, because you'll never know. Also make sure you have insurance. Insurance. I don't know how it is in the UK or the US where
Oh,
how the
it's pretty much
healthcare
the
is,
same.
but
Mhm.
but in India it's yeah, they have their local government healthcare, but I also have an insurance. I think we'll never know with health. You know, we always been healthy, but touch wood, we never know what's going to happen. In Malaysia, we have really good healthcare.
Yes.
People might not realize this. A lot of people don't realize how good healthcare Malaysia has until they move abroad, and then they realize that, oh my God, Malaysia actually has one of the best healthcare. So yes, insurance is important. Make sure you have a budget um, that would help you, especially with accommodations. Yeah.
Sorry, but I have to agree on that because even in Malaysia we only pay 1 ringgit, right? For for uh, sakit cuti sakit or any of the emergency, you only pay 1 ringgit. But then
Yeah.
if for example if there's something like a minor cuts or whatsoever, how much does it takes for if you're taking a medical attention in India?
I have no idea. I have yet to. I don't want to
Oh,
discover it. I don't want
yeah,
to.
yeah.
I don't know, but I can say in a perspective in Poland because I know I've been sick in Poland for a few times, and in how it works in Poland, you have to make an appointment, regardless of how you feel. If you are sick, if you have high fever, or you can't walk in. There's no way you can walk in. Like in Malaysia, you can still walk in, take a number, sit, and then pay your 1 ringgit, and they can still attend to you. And after that, they still give you medicine. So Malaysian government actually give you pills and medicine for you to take home, right? This is not an extra pay. It's subsidized. It was given. But in India, in India, and also in Poland, you have you have to buy your own medicine, and then on top of that, you pay for a lot of money to have for your visits, right? Yeah.
Is it because of not Malaysian and not Indian? I mean, the nationality is Malaysian. That's why it is not being subsidized. Is it because of that, or it's memang standardized that healthcare is not
It's their
free?
system, is their healthcare system. And in Poland, for example, you can make an appointment and you don't get an appointment the same day. So you have to wait 3-4 days. If you're lucky, the next day. By the time maybe you're already not sick anymore. And also, I have a few experience in Poland where they can cancel your appointment.
Oh,
So,
okay.
you know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah.
So basically, it teaches you. I mean, specifically in Poland, it teaches you to predict you're sick.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly what it like. You have to predict your sick, but there's no way I could predict it, right?
yes, like
But yeah.
okay, that's a very funny system. But yeah, back to you, Mr. Trevor. What does
Okay.
in UK the healthcare cost? How does it?
Okay. Let's just start with saying the national health system, okay? The NHS. A lot of problems since I don't know, since COVID. I remember when the first time COVID hit. You know, people's appointment list right now for government office, government hospitals. I think it's the wait list is about more than 2,000 people. So imagine, like, how can you manage all that? Um, for we when we come to the UK, when we pay for the visa, we also pay for a health insurance. So if we are here for 2 years or 3 years for study wise, we pay the 3 years. You know, basically, we can either go make an appointment, which takes days, yeah, or weeks even. You know, it's impossible to get a dentist appointment right now. It's horrible. But yeah, healthcare is not as cheap as in Malaysia. Like you can just walk in here. You want to walk in, you pay £100. Like you're gonna pay quite expensive for private hospitals and private clinics. Yeah, But they have things such as GPs, general practices, which are is basically a clinic. So you can make an appointment there, and if they're not that busy, yeah, you can get on the rates, national rates. But national rates are basically like £10, more than that. Basically, food is similar. You can get cheap food for £5. You get decent food, good food for £10, and those higher end £15 there. Yeah, basically, you have to have a lot of budget here, like yeah. As in for living costs, like you mentioned, Nadia, is now it's pretty expensive. Uh, yeah, you have to spend a lot on accommodation. If you have a studio flat, or we call it a studio, like accommodation, like your unique accommodation, that kind of thing, that's about £500 per month.
Mm.
And then if you talk about having your own space, that's £750 in Portsmouth, or almost £1,000 in London if you really want to work in London. Yeah, but basically, yeah, healthcare. It also, it also goes into your budgeting and like how you think about money. Yeah, and yeah.
All right. Thank you for the explanation. Right now, we would have a Q&A session, which we will take a few of the comments from the YouTube live, and we will start asking questions. One of the question is for Miss Nadia. Is the
Yes.
environment in India same like in Malaysia?
When you say environment, is it more like work environment or life?
How about life environment?
I don't think it's the same. It has, I think there are more differences than it is the same, I would say. Personally, in India, what I find might not be true, but this is what I experienced. There's a really big gap between the rich and the poor. So when people are rich, they're really rich. You cannot even imagine how rich they are. And when they're poor, right? And they also have middle class people, but there is just not, the gap is just very huge. So in Mumbai, what I experienced is that I would say I'm a middle class. My husband and I both are middle class. And if we want to do something that we usually do in Malaysia, we actually have to go to the high end. So there's nothing there's nothing in between. So, but then we also don't want to go to the ones who are, how do I say it without sounds mean, but like down, like you know what I mean?
Lower income.
Yes.
Mid-par.
Lower income, because
Yeah.
then it's not where I want to be, but then I'm not also where the rich people are. So it's not the same environment. There's a lot for the rich. There's also a lot for the poor, but there's nothing really much for the middle class people. So that's the only thing I find very difficult for both my husband and I. But we managed to find some things that are great for us as a family, because we also have a 13-year-old daughter. So we did find something, we somehow adapt to it. And I think what makes it easier is to find people you can really connect with. It doesn't matter if it's a local or if it's a foreigner living in a local in Mumbai or in that part of the country, but it's really good to have people that you connect with.
Sorry to interrupt, but I've seen one of your reels that when you're in your gym and then Hrithik Roshan was next to you. Is it?
It was not Hrithik Roshan, it was Tiger Shroff.
Oh, I see. I thought it was Hrithik Roshan. I was like, oh, okay.
It was Tiger
I
Shroff.
mean-
It was still good. So I live in Bandra West, the area where all the Bollywood people are, and that's why everything is more expensive. But I haven't yet met Hrithik Roshan. Maybe one day, manifesting it.
Yeah. Maybe can share to our fellow Malaysian people so that we can see how in real life Hrithik Roshan is, or maybe Shah Rukh Khan.
Of course.
One of the YouTube live viewers also asked, how is the public transport in India? Like, is it effective?
Yes, I mean, it's so easy. There's auto rickshaw here. What in Thailand you call it like tuk tuk, for example. So it's very easy for you to get it. There's an Uber, you can always order. It's super easy to go around with auto rickshaw. The transportation here is cheaper than in Malaysia. I would say it's cheaper, so you can get by even if you don't have a car. We don't have a car. We don't drive here, so we just go around with Uber, rickshaw, or just the normal car. So it's easy. I've never tried the bus. I probably will never try the bus, but the train is good. There are trains for, like I said, there are train for the rich, so you can go on the train for the higher ones if you want to be more comfortable and
Is it
feel.
is it like a bullet train, or is it like LRT, MRT? Like,
Yes, the bullet train. My husband tried it before and he said it was really, really good. So,
but then it's much more expensive if you convert to Malaysian ringgit, or
no. So the transportation here is really cheap. Really cheap.
One of the YouTube viewer also asked, is Miss Nadia respectfully given the challenges women sometimes face in India? How have you found your experience living there? Do you feel the environment supports your safety and comfort?
Okay, so this is one question that I get a lot from people when I said, I'm going to be moving to Mumbai. And then they were like, oh my God, is it safe? I understand because we've seen a lot of medias about it. So Mumbai is very safe, very safe. Mumbai in general is very safe, especially the area that I live is very safe. My daughter been out a few times by herself or with the neighbor, and Alhamdulillah, nothing happened to us, and it's very safe. No one is judging you. No one is going to scream at you for, wearing something that is a little bit more sexy or stuff like this. So it's just normal here in Mumbai. Nothing of sort. You will feel safe here. I wouldn't say other parts of India though, but in Mumbai it's generally quite safe.
And specifically on Bangalore's west, is it?
Mumbai? Bandra
Mumbai.
West, sorry, Bandra West.
Bandra West. Oh, okay. Have you ever planned on moving back to Malaysia?
100%. 100%. Both my husband and I, we want to settle down in Malaysia. So moving to other countries is just for us to find new things and challenges for us. And to be honest, if you work overseas abroad, there's a lot of benefits that you get as an expat rather than as a local. So me working as a teacher in Malaysia, it's you know what I mean? The payment, the pay is not great. You don't have any benefits. But I work here as a teacher, as an expat teacher. I have a lot of good benefits and the pay is very good as well. So I think it kind of, sometimes you want to explore and you want to have the stability financially. Moving abroad is also one of the best way you can do it.
Okay, understand. Last but not least, what is the beauty of India that you continue of staying there? What's the beauty, and what attracts you the most that makes you stay in India?
In India, they are so huge and there's so many cultures, so many kinds of food, and these are one of the best places for you to explore all those things. And they do have beautiful mountains, they do have beautiful beaches, and these are part of India that maybe the media haven't shown yet. So for people who, and I'm not saying that they only have great things, okay, they also have things that I question myself, why am I even here? Okay. But again, there's also a lot of things that are beautiful to explore here, and that is, I think, the mountains and the beaches and all this part of India that I would like to explore.
Oh, speaking of beaches, is it the same the beaches is it the same view, and the phenomena is the same, the environment is the same like in Port Dickson or in any other beaches in Malaysia?
I think even better than Port Dickson. Port Dickson is not even it's not even a comparison. So my husband and I and our family are gonna go to Goa. So this is the place where the beach they say one of the best places. So I don't know if it's great, but people said it's amazing, it's awesome. So I think we can only say it for sure when we are there. So maybe you guys can follow me on Instagram and share.
Yes. Yes, but then what I know that Goa is a very special place, especially to shot movies.
Mm,
And the food
maybe.
there is nice. Yeah.
Yes, I heard, and I heard also I can get beef there. So we'll see if I'll be able to get some beef.
Yeah. Maybe we can follow the Instagram for Miss Nadia so that we can watch your vlogs or whatsoever.
Yes, thank you so much. You can also still, so for the students who are here, if you want to send me a message and ask me any questions, you can always DM me in my Instagram. I'll be happy to help.
Okay. Unfortunately, I think Miss Nadia will be going for pickleball event, is it?
Oh,
Yes.
good luck.
Good luck for that.
Thank you.
Before I end for Miss Nadia's session, I would like to do some lingo. Okay. Pani puri or martabak daging.
Pani puri.
Curry chicken or nasi lemak.
Nasi lemak.
So fast. Okay, that's a true Malaysian there. Roti jala or tosai.
Roti jala.
Oh, last but not least, this one I think that this is the most hardest one. Teh tarik Malaysia or chai masala India.
Yo, teh tarik Malaysia.
Okay, that's a proud Malaysian over there. But then, why is there said that there's a difference between chai in India compared to Malaysia? Is there a big difference when we?
The difference is in chai masala, they put the spices in there. So they put
to
some
kicks
spices.
in- to
Teh
kicks in
tarik
the
is
flavor.
just, teh tarik is just the tea leaves and then some milk and the condensed milk and tarik sikit.
And the tarik
You know?
tarik one. Oh,
Yes.
okay. All right. I think that's all from us. Thank you so much for your time. And from College Mawar or UITM Shah Alam, we would like to say good luck to your pickleball league.
Yeah.
Hopefully gonna be the best of the best for your team.
So far we're on the top one. So we will see. We'll be able to keep up the points.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everyone. It felt like I'm back to UITM. I was studying in UITM for a year, so it was really nice. So all the best, everyone who was watching, and yeah, see you guys soon.
Before
Ready?
that, I would like to have a snap photo before.
Okay.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. All right. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much, Miss Nadia, for spending a very good time, and we are really, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. See you
Nadia.
guys. Bye.
Okay, bye. Okay.
Okay, can you give Nadia a second? She'll go back to the other computer. Hello, Maddie.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope the computer's okay with it.
All right.
Here's sorry for the Q&A session for Mr. Trevor.
Yeah.
Sorry for the delay because
Yeah,
Miss
don't worry
Nadia
about it.
have to leave early. Actually, our slot is until 5:35, which is but then she has to leave early because there's a pickleball league for her. So that's
Yeah,
the reason why I have to move the question more to Miss Nadia.
Oh, don't worry about it. That's fine by me. That's okay.
Okay, so there's a few questions for Mr. Trevor from one of our viewer, Alia Kaironisa. For Mr. Trevor, have you ever encountered any difficulties in understanding some accent, like the Irish people and Scottish, Sandra?
Yeah, it's like the first question that we asked just now. It's the same thing. So, when you first come to, you look at media, British media, like British movies and that kind of thing. I think you get used to the accents, and when you come here, for example, I'm in Portsmouth here. There is such an accent called Pompey accent, but I don't really hear. It's a bit rougher in the edges, but it still sounds like how I'm talking right now. But if you go into like London, you have those, British Africans who speak like, like Bob Marley or something like that. It's so similar. You have Indians or like other Asians they still have their own accents. And then if you go to the north, you go to Liverpool or you go to Newcastle, you could explore so many accents, but they're still speaking the same language. So if you know English well, you can verse with them very, very well as well. So you don't need to worry. Just watch the TV, watch the news, watch YouTube videos of like people doing things. That's how I learned to talk to other people. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for the great explanation. Another one of the viewer also asked is, what is one of the most valuable lessons you have learned on living abroad?
I think the most valuable lesson I've learned is take it easy sometimes, because it's such a fast-paced environment, and also like always be open-minded and learn, because that's the first thing that you learn when you first come down. Do not judge people, be open-minded, and in the end you'll get the information. Like for example, like many things that happen here, politically or whatnot, we can just listen and we can just understand. And if somebody asks us for our opinion, usually for me, I don't tell my opinion that much. But you get used to thinking straightforward, like, oh, I'm really sorry, but I wouldn't like my opinions to be heard at this moment. We can talk it in private or something like that, And we have to adjust. Another thing is, you have to adapt to things very quickly. But you will learn, and it's so exciting when you meet new people here and learn from other people. Also, there's a thing about time, because time is of the essence, and people don't like to waste time here, especially in London. They will, if they know what where you want to go at which time, they will go at that time, and they will not like dilly-dally and like wait. They're very straightforward. So have that in mind. There's so many people. The UK is, I think, for those who don't know, is made out of England. There's 4 countries: England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. So everybody has different accents. Everybody has different things. But the UK is absolutely massive, which also includes the Commonwealth countries like Malaysia and such. So we have a good connection. But overall, yeah, the most important thing is to adapt and to, listen. A lot of listening before you answer questions.
Okay.
Mm.
Move on for one of from Tomayato. Mr. Trevor, have you ever experienced feeling of isolation or sickness, and how do you cope with it?
Homesickness is just normal. Like you just feel like, when you have a family and you have a partner back home, it's like it's very difficult to adjust. Especially, for example, I will come back for Christmas, and when I go back, it's gonna be so difficult. Even after 4 years of staying in the UK. But trust me, if you have friends, if you have family, or you have Malaysians who you're close with, you'll be fine. You'll be fine, and you will learn from a lot from other people. If you say about isolation, just go out. There's a lot of pubs, there's a lot of bookstores. Personally, excuse me, I prefer to go to bookstores. The football is, if I feel safe, for somebody who likes football, they would go to see the football. For me, I support Man. Yeah. Anything?
Nothing.
No. Okay. I support Manchester United, and they've been pretty bad. So yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, but there's other teams. There's so many football, just football, okay? It's so you can get out of your isolation or homesickness or whatever for a little bit. You watch the football. There's a local team here. It's called Portsmouth FC. Yeah, I'm starting to talk about football now. Yeah, don't worry about it. I'll be quick. They have matches here, and the stadium's quite big. It's as big as like I think in Selangor or in Malaysia in Sabah. And there's so many people who are very invested in that, and that's a way to come out from that isolation. I mean, for me, I have family here, so it's a bit easier. But I know some people, some of Malaysians who struggle with that a lot, especially students. So one other advice I would give is, yeah, make friends. Try to get out of the bubble. Like I know some Malaysians who are constantly with their own people. It's okay. That's fine. I'm okay. I'm with my own group, here. But you have to start to open up yourself to other people, especially in the workplace when you start to work. I've worked many things, in events management and all this stuff. And you have to learn how to adapt very quickly and to talk to people. But moreover, it's so many things to do, and I'm planning to go to London soon. So yeah, there's a lot of things to do in London. But trust me, I would not stay there a long time unless you're working. There's so many people. Yeah, but in Portsmouth, it's a happy medium. Most people are middle class, basically. But most people in the UK are middle class anyways, based on their pay. Yep.
All right, thank you for your explanation. Um, from one of the viewers, Zikri, Mr. Trevor genuinely questions, have you ever encouraged gangs in the UK? Regarding there's a lot of cases of gang violences there.
Surprisingly, there's not much. If you see in whatever BBC or Sky News or whatever, big media outlets, they will say, "Oh, there's a lot of gangs in London." Not out. It's mostly outside of London. Yeah. But overall, I mean, it's there's not much in Portsmouth. There's no gangs. There is like alcohol usage and that kind of thing. That's quite normal. But apart from them, gangs, there's not that many gangs violence in the UK. It's quite controlled. Yeah.
70% of the students viewers are students. Can you give like can you give advice towards the students that wanted to go overseas for work, leisure, and also study? As any advice that you can give them so that they're able to have preparation for themselves?
Okay, yeah, excuse me, as Nathaniel said just now, you have to look and learn and look at the government websites, and it's very straightforward when the government asks you to pay a visa, pay your thing, your insurance. If you're a student, you want to study masters, for example, maybe in Portsmouth, shout out to University of Portsmouth. You can find material in the website. I think you just type in University of Portsmouth, and you can see they will guide you. You apply for your your master's or your degree or whatever, and then you can get some advice. And even if there's agents in Malaysia, they can help you to, that's what I did, get an agent and help me to, come to the UK. It's a lot of money, but either you get a scholarship or you save up early and that kind of thing. But once you start working, it's going to be a bit easier for you. Find a way, and there will be a way for work visas, that kind of thing. Yeah. So you can just search online. You go to the the UK government website or even the University of Portsmouth website. Yeah.
About internship, because I know students after they finish graduate their studies, they will go for internship. Is it possible? Have you ever experienced or with some of the friends that is from Malaysian and then starting off doing their internship in the UK?
Since I've not been working that long, I haven't seen anybody doing internship. But what I know is we have placements here. But internships wise, yeah, companies do give internships, and you have to apply as quickly as you can if you want to, you know, go and come to the UK and study and work. You can find internships. Of course, there's an agent in Malaysia that can help you, but you know you can find online. Just search internship, and it will come. But you have to be vigilant and apply quickly also, and you have to apply quite well and like prepare. You try to apply as many companies as possible. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for the last but not least. I would like to ask, what is the culture shock that you experience besides other than beers? Other than the food, it's different. What is the culture shock that you experience?
Uh, how kind people are. I think that's even something. It's how kind people are. Sometimes they're way too kind, and you can't trust them. Like for example, oh, I'm in the city and somebody asks me, oh, can you help me with this? Maybe his bike fell or something like that. I would say yes in Malaysia, but here you don't really say yes all the time because they might scam you, they might do something to you, and so like you look at the scenario, you look at the situation. Yeah, so people are a little bit way too kind sometimes because it's basically the culture here. But yeah, you have to be very careful of what you say as well. Like I can't just say something is very bad. I do not like this. Some people might find very offensive. So you have to be very careful what you say, and that comes for how you learn about things. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Last but not least, I would like to take one questions from the viewer. Is it hard for you, Mr. Trevor, mingling around with the local?
No, no. Basically, once you get used to it, yeah, they're gonna be your friends, and if you meet the good people, they will, and if you do your best in whatever you do, you will meet the good people, everywhere around the community, like in Portsmouth, a very good community. Yeah. And also Malaysians wise, yeah, you can meet Malaysians, with different religions and different cultures and that kind of thing. And they will talk to you. If you find a way to find people here, they will talk to you. Yeah. For students, there is a Malaysian student, the representation of the student unions. I would suggest you could find it online, and yeah, if you plan to come to the UK, there is the embassy, so they have a lot of more information for you. Yeah.
Right. I think one last question.
Mm.
Is it easy to find food? Sorry. If one of the listeners out there, viewers, are watching this and they are intrigued to visit in the UK, what's the most essential part of things that they need to have in order to go to UK?
Okay, I'll give you something very brief. Okay, so if you're just visiting, yeah, you can find the tickets yourself. Malaysia Airlines or Emirates, that kind of thing. Emirates is usually you go to Saudi, and then you go connection flights. If you're Malaysia Airlines, it's a bit more expensive, but you go one way from KL. Basically, you need I think they're gonna start having a form which you need to fill, and it's like it lasts 4 years, so you don't need to worry after that. But you have to do it. You need to check what kind of file you have to sign and that kind of thing. You have to get an approval, even if you are just layover in the UK. Sometimes they ask you to do that. But yeah, if you're planning to do that, I'm sure there's websites that can help you. Also, you could, if you're going to London only, there's the Tube. You can just use your debit card, credit card, whatever, to scan that and you can go. If you're traveling outside, like for example to Portsmouth or to Manchester, then you need to use the train. The train systems are very good here. All you need to do is look for which train stations you want to go online. There's some trains such as Southwestern Railway, Southwestern, Southeast trains, and like there's a lot of like speed trains that go to Manchester or even Newcastle. I know there's a lot of Malaysians there. So have a look out, learn. There's a lot of videos online. If you can find somebody who wants to travel to London or somebody who wants to travel elsewhere. Yeah, but if you're talking about educational wise, I think the agent will help you. And also if you have connections with the university, they will have somebody either pick you up or, reimburse you for any payments you have to make to go to your location. Yeah.
Sorry, but I've seen one of your resume that you
Yeah.
stated that before this you took a diploma in local university in Malaysia.
Yes.
Compared with studying in local university versus international, UK syllabus, and you in the UK, studying in the UK, what is the differences of the education that you experience?
Good question. Yeah, in Malaysia, you're very like, I need to pass this, I need to memorize this. Okay, even in media, you need to memorize this and that and everything. And then you get and you get like stuck on that. And they're not so straightforward with you, they just leave you off to do what you have to do. Some unis I know, like UiTM, they have a very good structure, But again, it's totally different culture-wise. In the UK, like I said, they're very straightforward. If they want to ask you a question, they're gonna ask you a question. But what I would suggest is you try to answer them in a conversational way, and it'll make things easier for them as well. If they feel a bit easier to understand. But overall, yeah, they're strict here, yes. Timing wise, they're on time, like you can't say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm late. Like, yeah, you'll get points deducted. Like it's so easy here. And you need to be very up to date with whatever information you have. They expect you to know because you have internet, you have things. But if they still need any help, they won't blame you for not having the skills or whatever. But yeah, you have to try to be very outgoing and very like, I know what I'm doing and hopefully I can help other people, that kind of thing.
How about the lectures there? Like compared to Malaysian lectures, we are like santai. But then if it's more to British, the accent, how they teach or how they communicate or they're presenting, it's different. The English that the slang that they're the slang that they're presenting is different. Is it a communication barrier when you're attending to the class?
Well, yeah, you're not gonna hear somebody like, like an Irish or something Scottish guy speaking all the time. But when you do, like, you will adapt to it. Just listen to the news. Just listen to. I mean, if you're here, listen to the news and such. If you're abroad, you can watch. Not Sky News used to be able to watch, but if you watch Sky News and BBC News and you will learn a lot. A lot of people have different accents, and once you come to the classroom, you'll be comfortable because you can just tell your lecturer, oh, I don't really understand this. Maybe because you were talking too fast. Yeah, people talk too fast. Or your accent's a bit strong. Can you explain to me a little bit slowly? And they'd be more than happy to help you to, they love when students want to talk to them. They want people to be engaging. And so if you want one-to-one with your lecturers or with your boss or somebody, your friend, go and talk to them, try to be open. and I'm sure accents are no barriers because it's all English and language is no barriers as well. You will get to learn more from everybody.
Well said. Thank you very much. Last but not least, before we want to end this session,
Yeah.
I would like to ask a few lingo, a few
Oh,
food
okay.
lingo.
Oh, good
Okay.
job. Yep.
Nasi lemak or English breakfast?
Nasi lemak lah. Okay, difficult.
Okay. Milo or English tea?
Milo lah. But English tea is like when I don't want something too sweet.
Right? Gardenia bread or scones?
Scone, sorry about that. Yeah.
Why is it?
Well, gardenia, if you want something very quick to eat, yeah, fine. But if you want something hot, because scones are usually served hot. But I still love my gardenia. I still like my sardine bread. I always go to the UK, the Asian the restaurants or Asian market or shops. A lot of Asian shops, Chinese or selling Malaysian products. I've seen durian. I've not tasted it yet, but durian, like frozen. They froze the durian in musangking or something like that, and then they will bring it to the UK and you taste it. I heard from people it's quite nice, but you have to get it like quite fresh. So as soon as it comes, you better go and take it and eat it. That's simple. I feel.
Mind if I interrupt?
Yeah.
Mostly, if it's musanke, is it still being imported, not being brewed there, right?
Sorry, is it imported? Yeah, it's imported.
And how much does it cost for?
Yeah, I know you're gonna ask me that. It really depends. Musang King, because it's very well known, £30 for frozen. That's about more than 100 plus ringgit. But mind you, if somebody asks a cost of living, I would say my salary could cover that because most people will earn 10 to 12 pounds an hour. Basically, that's normal. If you're a professional or you're in proper work, maybe 15 to 20 pounds an hour based on your company. So if you calculate that, you can afford it. It's like 30 ringgit. It's like that. It's like same thing. But the challenge is if you are just coming and you haven't had work, that will be a bit difficult. And you say, okay, this is a bit too expensive. It's like 100 ringgit plus, 150 was too expensive. But yeah, you try and work, and then you get that. Yeah.
Okay, the second one is nasi ikan, masak lemak, or fish and chips.
Nasi ikan, what's the question again? I'm trying to. Sorry, I'm backing
Ikan masak lemak. It's a yellow. It's a or fish and chips.
Malaysia lah. I mean, it's better in Malaysia. It's always better. If here, it's delicious, but you can't get the same fish in Malaysia. I like fish curry, fish head curry. I love curry as well. So Arab country curries are very different. Indian curries are very different. So our own curries, like even for me, I'm Sabahan, so like Maddie as well. So we have our own curries back home. The way they're so different, and you need to try and use whatever ingredients that you have. Whether it's from Asian stores or from Tesco, or Reiki from Tesco, and then you mix things, then it'll be fine. Yeah, but you still can't go wrong with fish in Malaysia. How they cook it. Ikan masak merah, those kind of things. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time, and I would like to have a screenshot. Take a picture.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Maddie, sorry, is there one little time for me to show a video about Portsmouth, or is no more time?
Oh,
I have one
yeah,
video.
sure. Is it?
If you want.
Is
About
it more
3
than?
minutes. It's about
Oh,
3
okay.
minutes.
Sure, sure,
Yeah,
sure.
that's fine. I'll just share the screen. Yeah, hopefully tech can help. Give me a second. Yeah, just a video so you can know what Portsmouth is like and the environment. It's the only Portsmouth is the only island city in the whole of the UK. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this. I hope you can hear as well. Give me a second. Nadia, can you see this?
Yeah. But
Okay.
can you try play the music? I mean
Yeah,
the
sure.
video.
Yeah. Can you hear?
I think Portsmouth is very forward thinking.
It's got such a really friendly atmosphere, and even though it's a city, it's quite a small city, so it feels really welcoming and homely.
When I first came to the open day for Portsmouth, I instantly fell in love with it.
When the sun is shining, there is nowhere better than Portsmouth.
Welcome to Portsmouth, the UK's only island city and home to the University of Portsmouth.
Join us today as we show you some of our favourite spots so you can take advantage of studying at the heart of our community.
It's a very cosmopolitan city, it's got so much to offer.
You have the commercial road, you have the city centre and the hub where it's all lively.
Student nightlife's really good. You've got lots of nightclubs, lots of stuff to do.
But then as soon as you come to Southsea, it's more of like a lazy seaside town, like you get to go to the beach.
You just have to go down to the beach or the common on a sunny day and everyone's having picnics, it's just beautiful.
Filling up for the day, you're absolutely spoiled for choice.
Everyone I know has a different favorite cafe spot.
We've got you covered for freshly roasted coffee, donuts, fish and chips, vegan food, and artisan bread.
And that's before we even get to the restaurants and bars. Cheers.
Okay, shopping. I love to shop local myself, and your top spots for that are Palmerston Road, Marmion Road, or here, Castle Road.
Commercial Road has it set for your shopping essentials. Or pop down to Southsea for charity shop bargains and quirky independent businesses to browse for something unique.
Or join us in Gunwharf Quays, Portsmouth's waterfront shopping centre, to check in on your favourite brand outlets, or catch the lights at Christmas.
I love that kind of vibrancy of the city.
It's got a real independent spirit about it.
I think it's got a really good mix of independent businesses.
There's so many local independent businesses.
Entertainment activities in terms of lots of bars and restaurants and loads of cool places to eat.
There's so much to do right here in the place you live.
There's an island's worth of beautiful coast to explore and unique green spaces like Canoe Lake and the Rose Garden to enjoy with your friends, or by yourself as a space for study or reflection.
Or for something a little different, you could wander into an art gallery, try an escape room, or book a table with your friends at Dice, the local board game cafe.
And don't forget the nights. There's a ton of live music events happening every week, as well as karaoke, comedy nights, and live theatre.
There's lots of cultural events, there's art galleries, there's music venues.
And then there's so many shows. You've got kite festivals,
food festivals.
The big one that really helps the town is Victoria's Festival.
It is such a really lovely community.
And I think after you've been here a while, you feel part of the community.
Just makes you feel like you're at home away from home.
Portsmouth is a one-of-a-kind place, a place for you to explore and thrive.
There's something for everyone here, and we can't wait for you to be part of it.
To find out more about our city, book an open day and get exploring, visit port.ac.uk.
Yeah, hope you could see the video.
Yeah.
Did you hear as well?
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay, that's very good. Yeah.
I
So that's
think
Portsmouth, yeah.
I think it's a very good exposure. Sorry, before I want to end, I would like to ask one question. Is it easy for a Malaysian student to enroll in University of Portsmouth?
There's a lot of international students, and I mean, you're gonna pay I think 15,000 a year, something like that. It's the student fees are much cheaper than, for example, 1 hour from here, Southampton, or in London or other places. It's cheap enough for you to like you can still go for part-time work and that kind of thing. When I was studying, I did events management, so mostly just carrying stuff, moving things around, but also like managing things. And you learn a lot from that, and also like you get to earn money. So like basically, yeah. And just be prepared for the bad days because there are bad days, and I have my family. I'm lucky, and I thank God for that. But other people, they really have to struggle for it. But overall, it's there are people that will help you, and the community is so big here. There's a Malaysian community and other communities as well. So you will find help here. As you saw in the video, it's such a beautiful place. And even if I'm going to move away for work in the future to some other city, I'll always remember Portsmouth. Yeah. So if anybody is, interested in studying here, of course I would suggest here because it's very interactive for us. Yep. Overall, yep, that's Portsmouth in a nutshell, and I hope you enjoy the video just now.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Trevor, for um, spending the time to explain all about the UK from its cultures, how we adapt if we want to go for traveling the UK, whether through for leisure, for work, or for education, we're able to adapt this kind of culture. One thing that, correct me if I'm wrong, one thing that
Yes.
Mr. Trevor did encourage us as a student or as an internship, wanting to pursue in or work in the UK is by having independency and by able to adapt the environment and also
Yes.
having an open heart, not only emotionally, physically, but also mentally prepared for everything, for
Oh
every
yeah.
of the changes.
Yeah, and also if you want to apply, you better start applying now because people are opening up for internships. You know, um, if you need any more information, of course you can. There's a careers office for the university, but if you just search University of Portsmouth, you can find some information about that. I'm sure there'll be somebody there. There's always somebody that will help you, even during the weekends. So I hope that helps a lot. And try to find jobs. There's always LinkedIn. It's very useful. LinkedIn, yeah, there's others as well, but you can have a look at it first. Find your own information, and I'm sure you'll be able to find somebody who can help you. Yeah, or an agent or something. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I will pass this slot to our MC for the program. Thank you so much, Mr. Trevor, for your time. And yeah,
Yeah,
have a
thank
good
you.
day.
Thank you very much. Yeah, have a good day.
Terima kasih kepada Mr. Trevor Yaacob dan Madam Nadia Halim atas perkongsian yang sangat bermanfaat sebentar tadi. Diharapkan penjelasan tersebut dapat membantu menjawab persoalan dan menjelaskan sebarang keraguan yang timbul dalam kalangan penonton. Baiklah, sebelum kita mengakhiri sesi pada petang ini, marilah bersama-sama menyanyikan lagu UiTM di Hatiku.
Allah
dengan ini, maka tamatlah sudah majlis kita pada petang ini. Bagi pihak majlis, kami menyusun 10 jari memohon maaf atas sebarang kekurangan sepanjang mengendalikan program ini. Dari Kedah ke Pekansari, beli suasa di Kota Tinggi. Selesai sudah program hari ini, di lain masa bersua lagi. Sekian, wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Baiklah, bagi pelajar sekalian, anda diminta untuk mengimbas kod QR maklum balas dan ini akan menjadi e-merit kalian. Dan kalian diingatkan untuk tidak share link maklum balas ni kepada rakan-rakan yang tidak berada di pautan kita pada petang ini. Okay, sambil-sambil isi maklum balas tu, boleh ke kami nak minta daripada pihak kalian untuk share, like kami dan juga subscribe kami punya YouTube College Mawar UiTM. Terima kasih. Okey, untuk makluman semua, kami ingatkan sekali lagi untuk tidak kongsikan pautan maklum balas kepada kawan-kawan yang tak datang. Okey, sebabnya kami dapat responden yang agak tinggi lah. Okey, di mana kat YouTube viewer banyak tu sahaja tapi bila tengok responden tinggi. Jadi okey, pautan akan ditutup pada 5, kami akan tutup YouTube dalam masa okey, untuk pautan di YouTube kami akan tutup sekarang. Terima kasih.